There we go. So now let me go back to share. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so he had an accident where he got hit in the face and his whole skull was crushed, and he had to kind of relearn how to do a lot of things, including talk. But he, through this process, came up with a lot of really great ideas, and he teaches classes and so on. So I would encourage you to go through that book, whether you enjoy reading or listening to audiobooks. I would encourage that. So we got some shout outs for today. We'll go over some atomic habits, goal setting, step-by-step habit creating, how to let go of some bad habits. And hopefully, well, there's always time for Q&A, always. So, excuse me. I will start off with some shout outs. We've got Anne, who she's just gotten started, and she said her gut issues are completely gone. That was the whole reason she signed up for this program. Her gut issues are 100% gone. She feels amazing. She's lost some weight too. She said that was going to be a bonus, but her gut issues are gone. So you can stick to the program, and it does work. And then we've got Kim. He said she feels fabulous. She hasn't felt this good in a really long time. She loves all the changes that have been made in her body. She's truly embraced the program and embraced the lifestyle. She's lost belly fat and her clothes fit. She said clothes that she thought she would never fit into ever, ever again. And she's kind of new to the program as well. So that was always good news. I've got Brian down 16 pounds and he just started. And then Beverly shared with me this morning that she's back on the road to losing. She was stuck for a long time. But sometimes it doesn't go exactly, it's not a straight line. Success is not a straight line. It's going to be ups and downs. And sometimes we get stuck. This is where I say persistence, persistence, persistence. Very, very important. All right, so here is just the cover of the book, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. So again, here's a picture of the cover of his book, just in case. All right, so we're going to start off today with, I changed the order with which I was going to do this. But setting goals is very important, but we want to make sure we're setting SMART goals, right? So the SMART goals are specific. It's got to be something that very specific. So if you say, I want to lose weight, I want to feel better, or I want to make more money, or, I want to open a business, you got to be specific. What kind of business do you want to open? Are you opening a restaurant or a bookstore? Are you losing 20 pounds? Or are you losing 40 pounds? Or maybe you're just, I'm going to get into a size 7, but it has to be very specific. It's just, if it's not specific, it's not going to be considered a SMART goal. We've got to be specific. The brain loves clarity. The brain loves, here I'm going to try to say that word again. I couldn't say it the other day. Specificity. Did I say it right? But specific is the S in the SMART goals. Measurable, something that you can track. We cannot manage anything we're not tracking. So we've got to have something we can track. So if you decide that you wanted to lose 20 pounds, and if you know you're losing about 2 pounds a week, which is an ambitious but fair, safe number, it should only take about 10 weeks. So at 5 weeks, you've lost 10 pounds, you know that you're on point to hit your goal. If not, you need to make some changes, but it's got to be something that you can measure. The A is achievable. Is it something that you can achieve, or is it realistic? Or is it something that you can do? It may or may not be something that is on your radar. I've had people join my program through the years, and especially after I did my bikini competition, and some people they just want to feel better. They don't feel like a sausage in their own skin. And some people signed up and said, hey, I want to get on stage and do a bikini competition. And then I say, okay, I can help you with that. And then I give them the processes of what you got to do. And they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So it's okay to change your goals. It's absolutely okay. But is it achievable? And then the next one is realistic or relevant. Uh, realistic is, is it are you gonna lose 10 pounds in 10 days? That's not realistic. You could change it out for relevant. Does it match my values? Does it match what I want to do? So if I say I want to make a doctor's wage, but I start at the age of 60 to go to school to be a doctor, that is not relevant to my values because I, in 10 years, plan to be retired. So I have to come up with something else to do to make more money, to make my retirement a little bit more comfortable. So realistic or relevant is the R. And then timely, you want to give something a date. If you say you want to lose 20 pounds in 10 weeks, that's good. At least you can measure it. You can at least track it. You can at least check and see if you are on point to hit your target. But I always say you shoot for the stars and you hit the moon. That's not terrible. So if I aim to lose 20 pounds in 10 weeks and I've lost 18 pounds in 10 weeks, am I going to be mad at that? Are you going to be mad at that? No, of course not. But at least it's a driver of doing the things that you need to do. So if you know you're falling off, you're 5 weeks in and you've only lost 2 pounds, because you have that time frame and because you're tracking, you now know that you're off track and you're not going to hit your goal. So it's important that we take all of these little steps to achieve your goals. Now, all of that being said, who watched the Super Bowl on Sunday? Did anybody watch it? Does anybody care? I will say goals are great. Goals are important. Goals are important, very important. However, the goals that we set for ourselves, we can only do the best we can do to achieve the goals is going to drop to the level of our systems. Every single player and every single coach on Sunday had a goal of winning that Super Bowl team. Every one of them, right? Would that be fair? They all had the same goal. But one of those teams had a better system. One of those teams had a system in the way in which they rehearsed, in the way in which they practiced, in their habits that they did every single day or every single week or every month or every year or whatever that was. But they got up a certain time. That's their system. They ran around the track so many times. That's their system. They practiced throwing the ball. That's their system. They practiced kicking. They practice all the things. They practice different plays. Their systems, their systems, their systems. And the better the systems, the closer they're going to get to hitting their goals. And even professionals, even like these Super Bowl guys, even the golfers. Sunday it was a hell of a day, which is probably how I ended up sick. I went to the Phoenix Open and watched the best golf players probably in the world. And that was really amazing to watch, actually. We got more people joining in. That was really amazing to watch. But you can be damn straight, they all have coaches, which have given them the systems that they need to reach their goal of getting those birdies or hole in one or touchdowns or whatever the case may be. So it's really all about systems. So for you, in the land of getting healthy or improving your health and wellness or weight loss, there are certain systems. We all have a goal of having a fit body, but if we have no systems for that, back to that clarity, the brain loves clarity. But if I have a system that every Sunday, that's the day I go grocery shopping. I'll tell you my system for Sundays. Sunday, I go to yoga class. I leave yoga class. I go to the grocery store. I come back. and I plan out, or I've already planned it out. I've already kind of surveyed my kitchen. What do I have? What do I feel like eating? What do I want to create? I typically do that Saturday or maybe Sunday morning before yoga. But then yoga, grocery store, come home, meal prep. That's a very important system, because if you don't have prepared food ready for you, and then you get hungry at lunch or dinner or snack, and there's a bag of chips in there, or there's a head of lettuce that's not chopped up, and a bunch of bag of carrots that's not chopped up, and some whole tomatoes and whole cucumbers or whatever else you put in a salad. If it's not chopped up, you didn't follow the system. The chances of us grabbing the bag of chips is so much easier. But if my system is making that salad and putting it all in one bowl and having it ready to go, the goal of eating that salad is going to much more likely happen. So goals versus systems. All the people in the game have the goal of winning, but only the winners have the best systems. All right, next up, massive change versus 1% shifts. Tony Robbins says, when you set a goal, never do something towards its attainment. But he also talks a lot about taking massive action. And he calls it the MAPs, massive action plan. And so I love to watch him. You guys have heard me say this probably 100 times. I love to listen to him because he's very inspiring, and he gives me a lot of aha moments. But this is one area where I would say James Clear, who wrote The Atomic Habits, talks about this piece. And, little tiny habits, like if you go do push-ups, if you go do a push-up, is that going to change your life? No. But guess what? If every other day you do a push-up for the next couple of weeks, and then you bump it up to 2 push-ups and then 3 push-ups, which starts to become like a system. If you increase it by 1 every single week, that becomes a system. But the teeny tiny little habits are going to add up for far better. So like, let me see what I have in here in my notes. For every action that you take, it's like voting for the person that you want to become. So like your bank account, your weight, your test scores are only a measurement. It's only basically a measurement of your habits. It's of your habits of spending or saving. It's of your habits of eating right or exercising, of your study habits. Like, what are your habits? But it's doing the teeny tiny little things. They say if you improve by 1%, just 1% every day for a year, you are 37% better by the end of that year. And if you're 37% better, that's a lot. I think that's a lot. And like I said, little habits don't change you. They're not obvious. So it's sometimes a challenge to stick to those not so obvious changes. Well, I did my push-up. Okay, now I'm up to 5 push-ups. Nothing changed. But because you're doing those push-ups, you're becoming a person who does push-ups. You're becoming the person who doesn't miss their workout. So 1% better is better than trying to big massive changes. I will say the clients that come in and say, I'll do whatever you say, I'll do that. And if you tell me to get up at 4 a.m. and get my exercise in, I'll do that. And that kind of mindset is, I like that at first, but it scares me because I know what happens. The subconscious mind comes and creeps in and pulls you back into your comfort zone, because 4 a.m. is not comfortable for most people. So if you do the 1%, the smaller incremental changes. Okay, so I'll get up at 6:30 and I'll do 2 push-ups or whatever, it is. But smaller changes, 1 change at a time. Maybe you just start by putting your tennis shoes on. And then tomorrow you put your tennis shoes and your workout clothes on. And then the next day you drive yourself to the gym. Or Maybe just turn on YouTube and find a workout that you want to do. You don't have to do it, but then the next day, then you add a little bit more each time. These 1% increments, I think, is going to be a longer last because your subconscious mind starts to change with you. And that's how it becomes a habit. Hey, change. All right, so, okay. So like I said, small habits don't change your life overnight, but it is, as you start to do these small little habits, it is how, it is who you start to become. So like I said, when you're doing, your 2 push-ups or your 5 push-ups, or maybe you go to the bench, from the wall push-ups to the bench, or countertop to the bench, to knee push-ups, to full push-ups, it's who you are becoming. I am a person who never misses their workout. It doesn't have to be a massive workout. It doesn't have to be 2 hours in the gym. I am such a big fan of Jim Rohn. And he says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenges, wish for more wisdom. The major value in life is not what you get. The major value in life is what you become, or I should say, who you become. Success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person that you become. And I remember when I first started at Platinum Wellness with Dr. Infantino. And he is truly, his heart is in the right place. He is just, he thinks he's going to save the world. He says, and he means it, he's going to put the hospitals out of business. He really wants to save the world and help people in a natural, healthy way, without all the big pharma and all that other stuff. Some herbal supplements and some good, healthy elimination of some of the inflammatory foods, all of that stuff. It's natural, it's healthy, it's a good way to go. But what he said was, anyone can lose the 50 pounds. He said, but until they keep it off for a year, they don't get to own it. And I thought, gosh, this is not the Dr. Infantino I know. He's a really nice guy. And I thought that was really, really harsh. But then he kind of followed up. It's like basically who you become. If you keep that 50 pounds off for a year, clearly you have adopted the habits. You are meal prepping every Sunday or Tuesday or Thursday or whatever day you choose. You are showing up for your workouts. You have become that person. Your identity and who you believe you are and what you think you deserve and what you believe you are capable of is basically your own thermostat. And this is kind of a tough pill to swallow. And this is a challenge. It's probably one of the most challenging pieces because changing your identity, we all, here we go back to Tony Robbins again. The strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with who you think you are. So, and my best example is during COVID, I stopped dancing, stopped working out. I used to teach 6 group exercise classes a week. Obviously, the gyms were closed. Fortunately, I was working on some certifications, but I was also being a little lazy too and hanging out with my friends on the golf course because that was the only thing open. But we were eating whatever. We'd all bring food out there, and I gained weight. I gained probably 8 pounds, which is a lot on my 5'2" body. And my clothes didn't fit and I felt awful, but it's not who I think I am. And so it was not in alignment with who I believe I am. And it was just kind of like one day I woke up like, what am I doing? I know exactly what to do, how to get rid of it. And then I just made that conscious choice to do the things. And it's not always easy because it started to become a habit to eat the junk food and just do potluck with all my neighbors out on the golf course. But starting to begin to see yourself in a different light, changing that thermostat. When I say thermostat, if you set your thermostat for 72 and somebody, the house stays at 72 and somebody opens a door and it's hot outside or it's cold outside, it becomes, the house changes. But that thermostat it is just that, it's a thermostat. So it will kick on blow the air in to bring it back to 72. So if your identity is a 72er and you want to be up here, you want to, okay, it's like you have an average physique, or you're built a little bit chunky or a little bit heavy, and that's, you accept that, and that's who I am. And, you know, I am Italian, or I am whatever the case may be. This is my family tradition. This is just who we are. That's my identity. That's going to either serve me or hurt me. But that thermostat, when it kicks back on, even if I lose a little bit of weight, it'll bring me back to I'll gain it back. I don't know how many people I've talked to through the years. They lose a few pounds, they lose that 20 or 40, and then they fall out of the program. They come back 6 months later and they put it back on. It's that thermostat in their brain that brought them back to the whatever their number is, whatever their comfort zone is. And if they go higher, if they gain even more weight than their comfort zone, they'll lose that, they'll come back here. They're like, oh, heck no, this is bad enough, but not here. Or if you lose a little bit, your body goes, yay, this is exciting, but somehow it creeps back up here. So one of the ways that I suggest that we start to begin to change the I ams, the who you believe that you are, and change that thermostat in your brain, is really, it's at the end of the day, is writing down your gratitudes for yourself. And I've talked about this before, but I think it bears repeating. I think it's just super important, and we all need to do it, including myself. A lot of times I end up teaching these classes. It always seems to be in alignment with what I need to learn or be reminded of. As you know, I'm taking a course right now, in my I ams, I'm struggling with a little bit of the I ams and trying in becoming this new version of myself. But at the end of the day, if you are setting an intention to write down and give yourself a number, at least 3 things that you did to be in alignment with who you want to become. So if you're studying the winners, you're studying, say you want to lose weight, you're studying fit people, what are they doing? What are they posting on social media? They're posting selfies of them in the gym. They're posting pictures of their healthy meals, right? So they're eating right. They're showing their meal prep. They're showing them selfies at the gym. So if you start to, at the end of the day, write down, I am so grateful. I went to the gym. I meal prepped. I chose the vegetables over the French fries at the restaurant today with my friends. And then you start to reinforce the idea that you are becoming that person. I am making better choices. I am doing the deal. I am following through. And you start to really appreciate your own, who you are, and you're raising that level of that thermostat. And that's one of the best ways I know how to change your I ams. And of course, you know, in the success formula, visualizing yourself there, feeling the feelings of what it feels like to have achieved it, it helps train the subconscious mind that that's the reality. So hopefully that helps. Okay, the 4 laws of behavior change. Okay, so in creating new habits, this is really important, is making it obvious. So if the goal is to, say, drink more water, by making it obvious, you put water bottles all around the house. I put a water bottle on my nightstand every single night, so that first thing in the morning, I go to take my water. I make it as obvious as I possibly can. If I want to learn how to play the guitar, I leave the guitar and any notes or music, I leave that in the living room where I'm going to see it. If I want to eat healthier, I'm going to have a big, fruit bowl full of fruits and vegetables, so I can see, it's obvious that it's there. Have it, or at least your veggies in the refrigerator where you can see it. So making the thing really obvious. Making it attractive, making it exciting. So, if eating healthier is on your radar, looking up recipes that appeal to you, that are on the program. So use the Platinum Wellness recipes. If you're tired of those or you're looking for more, go Google paleo recipes, because they're the closest to ours, because they eliminate dairy and gluten as well. They won't be asking for breadcrumbs or cheese or stuff like that. Making it attractive, making it exciting. Buy some cute workout clothes, buy some really cute workout shoes, making it as fun and attractive as at all possible. Making it satisfying. Well, back to that recipe thing. Obviously, if the food's going to taste good, you're more likely to eat it. Satisfying, you can go to the gym and maybe play when you play your favorite music. What else? Just making it satisfying helps to create the new goal. And then, of course, making it easy. That's why meal prep is like, I can't stress that enough. People go, I don't have time. I don't have time. Like, well, you make dinner every night. We make lunch every day. We make breakfast every day. That's 3 meals every day. What if we meal prepped? We're cooking once or twice a week. I mean, I make breakfast every day just because I like my eggs the way I like them. But if you meal prep and you have your pre-chopped onions and your pre-chopped bell peppers frozen in the freezer, that makes making my scrambled eggs with onions and bell peppers a whole lot easier. So making it as easy as possible. When I meal prep and my recipe calls for celery or onions or bell peppers, I cut up the entire thing of celery or the entire onion or the entire bell pepper or whatever vegetable I have. And then I use what I need for the recipe. And I've added to my bag of onions or bell peppers, and I have plenty to start off any other recipe. So making it easy is really, really important. Be patient with yourself, guys. You know, stuff doesn't happen overnight. One moment of patience may ward off great disaster, and one moment of impatience may ruin a whole life. Chinese proverb. I thought that was kind of cute. But be patient with yourself. You know, it's not a straight line to success. Some days, some weeks, we're not going to lose weight. Some weeks we might have an oopsie, I ate a Christmas cookie or birthday cake or something, or went to happy hour, whatever the case. But be patient with yourself. Give yourself some grace. Go into your journal, your gratitude journal. And as you're being grateful for the choices that you made, so you can see you are becoming, but write some other gratitudes in there. And it helps us see the world with different eyes. We see more things to be grateful for. So be patient. We didn't get in the condition overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. So being very patient with yourself. So more tips. This is from the book, Atomic Habits. Optimizing your environment. That would be back to putting that water bottle on your nightstand. Putting that guitar in the middle of your living room, having your vegetables or whatever already chopped up, being able to put your gym clothes in the car, because you know if you go all the way home, if you think you're going to go home from work, change into your workout clothes and go back out and go to the gym. I don't care who you are. Half of the time we're going to find something else to do and it won't happen. But if you take your environment and have maybe 2 or 3 days of gym clothes in there, then maybe that could be for the whole week. Each day you're going to wear the gym clothes home, then you wash them, but you still have, instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you have those in your car. You still have Wednesday and Friday left. You still have gym clothes. Optimize your environment. Put the things, surround yourself to make it super easy. Like I said, make it easy. Use your environment to do that. So if you want to eat more vegetables, put them in your refrigerator, because if they're not in your house, you're not going to eat them. The bag of junk food or Uber Eats will be at your door. Okay. Oh, 2-minute rule. I like this one. And I kind of touched on this earlier. When you were creating new habits, make it something that you can do in 2 minutes. we can all do the 2-minute thing. But if you say, oh, I'm going to go exercise for an hour every day for 4 days a week, and you're not an exerciser at all, the chances of us sticking with something like that is probably pretty slim. Unless you've hired a personal trainer and they're very expensive and they'll charge you if you don't show up. That's one of the benefits of having a personal trainer. You will show up because they will still charge you. And so you don't want to lose your money. But I'm talking about the 2-minute rule. So if you're trying to create a habit of working out and it's really not your cup of tea, it's not your thing, what can you do in 2 minutes? Well, I can put my tennis shoes on. And that is your goal. That is the new habit you want to set. And then you can add to that habit. Okay, it took you 2 minutes to put on your tennis shoes. And maybe that's what you do this week or just today. And again, I talked about this earlier today. The next time you might add, okay, put the gym clothes on. And then might be look up at the gym that you're a member of what the classes are. Just look up the classes or look up gyms in my area. Maybe you're not even at the gym yet. Figure out a gym in your area and write down 2 or 3 of them. That you can do in 2 minutes. And that's and the point of that is you accomplish it. And when you accomplish something you set out to do, you feel that sense of accomplishment. You feel that you get that achieved. If I say I'm going to work out 2 hours today, or 2 hours even this week, and I've only worked out 1 hour, now I feel like a failure. Now I feel like I can't do this. And I feel like it's a negative, icky feeling, like I suck, I can't do this. But if my only goal was to look up the gyms in my area, maybe I want to look at Pilates and yoga studios or boxing studios or dance, Zumba, whatever, that I can do in 2 minutes. So giving yourself little tiny goals gives you that sense of I can do this. And then you take the next step. It's one step at a time. If we try to take all the steps, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, that is horrifyingly scary. It's just what can we do in this 2 minutes? So that will set your tone up for how you feel about your self-esteem. And I had a coach years ago, she said, how do you build self-esteem is by doing esteemable acts. And if you say, I'm going to look up gyms in my area, and you go to Google and you looked up gyms in your area, you did it. And then you figure out which sounds the best, what appeals to you the most. Another thing we can do is habit stacking. So for example, if your goal is to start meditating a little bit more, or you want to add that to your get healthy regimen, you already have a habit of brushing your teeth. So maybe when you brush your teeth, you add 5 minutes of meditation. You stack the 2 habits together. If you have a habit of getting up and having a cup of teachino or herbal tea, and you want to add more walking, have your teachino or herbal tea and go for your 10-minute walk. Putting 2 habits together, one that you're already doing, and then you add something to it. So you're triggered by, oh, I'm having my tea or I'm brushing my teeth. You're stacking 2 habits together. Kind of reminds you from habit A to the habit B, and you can do those. Temptation bundling. So say there's a habit that you really don't like, you bundle it with something that you really do like, something that you love maybe. So one of the examples they gave in the book was, if you don't really like the gym, let yourself listen to your favorite music, or let yourself listen to your favorite podcast or your favorite whatever, inspirational, motivational, whatever. Putting something that you don't like with something that you do like. So say you don't really care for meal prepping, but you want to binge watch on Netflix. Maybe you can watch it while you're meal prepping, or don't allow yourself to watch the Netflix, a whole season of whatever until you've done at least, this week's worth of meal prep. Temptation bundling bundling something you're not really excited about with something that you love. And so you get excited about doing something that you love, which builds the dopamine triggers in your brain, and the brain will want to do it. It'll help build that. All right, so what is CCIA? This is super, super important. And I heard this from one of my coaches this week, and it's called consistent, committed, imperfect action. Consistent, committed, imperfect action. So when I say consistent, committed, obviously we know what that part is, but imperfect. So say you go to a restaurant and you make your what you think is the best choice, and you write it on your journal, and I come back and say, oh no, well, that's not. It's imperfect, but you did it. You took the action. You set the intention to try to do the healthy thing. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be 100% right. What you guys are doing is not brain surgery. Nobody dies if you do it wrong. Just do your best, and if it's imperfect, it's imperfect. At least you're taking action, because that builds momentum. It builds momentum. And then you learn from that, and you learn from that next one. And each time you write your food down and you turn it in, and you learn, oh, that one's not on the program, or not for 12 weeks, or that'll come back in 4 weeks, or whatever the thing is. But you're taking those imperfect actions, but you're consistent and you're committed. That is probably the biggest key in this whole thing. It's taking your consistent, committed, imperfect actions. Oh, and some funnies. I put the funnies at the end today. And I don't know if any of you ever had a cat before. I'm a cat person, so this to me was really funny. It's Saturday. Should I sit down and do nothing, or lay down and do nothing? If you've ever had a cat, that's pretty much their day. Where shall I take my nap next? Where should it be? On the chair, or on mom's bed, or perhaps under the bed? Decisions. Anyway, so does anybody have any questions or comments? You unmute yourself first. Some of you are muted. If you have anything you want to say or ask. Also, while you're thinking of your questions, this other one, stop making excuses. Success is built by habits, not emotions. Sometimes we don't feel like it. In fact, if you wait till you feel like it, it might be a long wait. But stick to that 2-minute rule, and it makes it so much easier, because then you feel good about it. And then, oh, I feel good. I did the thing. I looked up the gym. I looked up the recipe. Anybody have any comments? Anybody have any wins to share with the group this week?
Tami?
Yes, Pam.
Hi, I just want to say thank you for today's class once again. Just fantastic tips. You just to be able to, bring it back to the surface, remind us again. And there's always just that perfect little caveat at the end that makes it just make so much sense for me. So I just want to say thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. And that's it. I didn't have really any questions because you covered everything.
Thank you, and happy Valentine's Day. I thought I said did I not say that at the beginning? I meant to, but happy Valentine's Day to all of you, every one of you.
Thank you.
Hence the pink.
Right.
I'm going to a Galentine's dinner tonight. So my girlfriends are having a dinner, so that should be fun. Anybody else? Questions, comments, thoughts?
Tammy, it's Mary Pat. I did have a win. I had
Yes.
my 3-month labs draws done, and my A1C, which usually ran anywhere from 6 to 6.4, was 5.7.
Wow.
The doctor was like, Great work! Exclamation point.
Oh, Mary Pat, that's wonderful.
Yeah. I was
And
happy
thank
about
you
it.
so much for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody else does too. It gives other people hope. You know, it's not like I said, you don't always feel like it. We don't always want to do the right things. Just the little habits. If you hang in there and do the deal, the numbers come down.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I think they should all go down. Cholesterol, blood pressure, scale, inches. I don't think anything should go up, right? Am I
Right.
forgetting something? We want them down. All right. Here's my email address here. If anybody's too shy to ask on this call, or if you think of something later, take a screenshot of this. And then you can email me. Or you can always go to platinumwellness.net if you have any other questions about the program or setting in an appointment with Dr. Infantino. Ooh, I guess that's it. All right. All right, so I am super stoked that all of you came and showed up for yourself. I know there's a lot of other things you could have been doing today, and you're here, and you showed up for yourself. And every time you do that, you're chipping away at that subconscious program. And like Pam said, you know, you get these little aha moments or little caveats, and the more you ponder on that, you're thinking about it. And the more you're thinking about it, you're training your subconscious mind. You're training that reticular activating system, that filter part of your brain that lets the things in. So your brain will start to notice all the things that will help bring you closer to your goals. So again, the more you show up to this, the more you read books like Atomic Habits or Dr. Infantino's book or my books or you know, anything, any articles on this subject, you're really training your brain to strive for more of that. That's how I believe I lost my weight in writing my books. I was studying it every single day. And it's called conditioning your brain. You're conditioning your subconscious mind. So every day, if it's like exercising. If we do it once in a blue moon, your subconscious mind's going to go back to its old self. But if you're conditioning your brain every day, something, anything towards health and wellness, or opening up your restaurant, or writing your book, or whatever you're trying to achieve, cleaning the garage, any big accomplishment that seems overwhelming and hard, you know, we do something a little bit and break it into chunks, break it into 2-minute rule if we have to. Start collecting boxes for that garage, little tiny things, you know. Get rid of all that stuff that no longer serves us, as they say. Anyway, any last minute thoughts before I say goodbye? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, well, thank you guys. I will see you guys all next time, whenever that is, maybe tomorrow, or maybe next week, or maybe we have a one-on-one schedule. But with that, I will say happy Valentine's Day.
Okay, thanks, Tammy.